Daryl,
Yep.
regional championship
It's
week.
here. It is finally here.
I mean, it felt like it's been a fast week since we started with the tailgate show.
Yep.
And now we are 1 week away
1 week away.
from a
and
state championship
state
game.
championship game. Before we get started,
Got to
Sean,
give somebody a shout out.
Yeah, got to give out
Who we got?
shout outs to the Rolesville Rams cheerleaders for bringing us in this week. And Sean, it was some good games last week that we had.
A lot of good games, Daryl, and you're getting closer and closer. In this week right here, everybody makes their prediction.
Right.
We want to go to a state championship.
That's it.
Now we're down to the final teams to be able one of them to be able to punch their ticket. So before we even talk about the teams that's trying to play to punch their tickets, let's jump back and saw what happened last week on the Grit and Grind Rewind. Daryl, two good games.
Two great games.
71st, Jage Rose, the Road Warriors of Jage Rose going to 71st. Then those Vikings of Kinston versus Whiteville.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me about them. So I'm not going to ask the question, you tell me about them.
All right, so like you said, 71st played J.H. Rose last week, and this was a good game for 71st. They came in, jumped on J.H. Rose early in the game. I think it was like 21-7 in that first half, and then from that point on, 71st was able to just take care of business, what they've been doing all season.
Okay.
And if you're J.H. Rose, this was a good run. You made it to the fourth round.
A great run.
A great run. Coach Bland had those guys playing, believing what he was talking.
Hats off to Coach
And they
Bland.
bought in and made it to the fourth round. And this team is going to be back next year. So, you know,
Stronger
like you
than
said,
ever.
stronger than ever. And then that Kinston and Whiteville game. This is one of those games, if you're Whiteville, that you wanted to win because you've gotten close each year.
You just
and you just didn't get over that hump. And
That's
you were
right.
able to get over that hump. And they took care of business. They won 48-21.
Okay.
And it started with their running game with Powell. He had 209 yards rushing in that game. And then Cameron, he had 2 pairs of touchdowns in that game as well. So Whiteville took care of business. And now they got a big-time game coming up for them as well.
Very big.
Yeah. But, Sean, tell me about that Tarboro game.
Well, Daryl, if I tell you about the Tarboro game, I got to do one thing. I got to
What's that?
backtrack.
Uh-oh.
Because I always say with this Kinston game that I get a call every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock to tell me that they're not playing basketball. So the score looks like to me that I can ask you this question. Are they playing basketball at Kinston High School?
They are officially playing basketball right now in Kinston.
Kinston High, get ready. Grit and Grind come to see you this season. Daryl, let's talk about that Tarboro game, Tarboro and Pender. If you're Tarboro, you did exactly what you wanted to do. This was another statement game from them. Tarboro was able to go in and, number one, silence the critics.
Yeah.
A lot of people have been talking about Tarboro like it's a good team. They play great games. The offense has been good. The defense has been good. But can they just be that Tarboro team that we saw win state championships? I think they did, and I want to remind everybody, if you have forgot about Tarboro, who they are, let me remind you, they are the final boss. I'm going to say that again. The final boss of 1A Eastern football. If you want to get to the state championship, you got to beat the final boss.
Yeah.
That's who they are. But they were able to go and hold a team like Pender, who's the fastest scoring offense in high school football, to nothing.
Yeah,
They
that was
didn't put
huge.
no points
That
on
was
the board.
definitely huge.
And if you go back and look at Tarboro, Daryl, not only would they did that to Pender, they did to Warren County last week. They are a good team. Now, that next game I had, Daryl, was Wilson Prep in Lakewood.
Big time game?
Very big time game for the Tigers. Over there, the Tigers did. Little Tiger pride for the show today. But Wilson Prep was able to do in this game. And the one thing I like about this game that Wilson Prep was able to do, they did it with their defense and did not have to depend on Trevon Usher to pretty much orchestrate the offense to get into we're going to put up more points on the board and get ahead of you. They said, we're going to let our defense flex their muscles, shut you down, and they beat a good Lakewood team.
Yeah,
a lot of people had Lakewood going in, winning this game.
A lot of people had that Lakewood team winning this game.
Very good win for Wilson Prep, a team that's been trying to get to the regional round. And for me, I'm going to just say the same words that Wilson Prep said Friday night, Daryl. Tigers, we're going to Tarboro.
There you go.
Two good games right there, Daryl. But now it's time to talk about the Grit and Grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week, that was the Rolesville Rams traveling to Cleveland and getting a very decisive win in a tough place to win
Definitely tough place to win.
In Cleveland, 49-6.
And that's the thing. And like you said, Roseville came out on all cylinders, scoring first. and just taking care of business. And that defense stood up for Rolesville. You're talking about with Alston, Fleet, Lewis, Harris, Fry, Haynes. All of those guys stepped up for Rolesville and just dominated on that defensive line of the ball. And Cleveland just could not get things started because, honestly, they haven't played a team like this in Rolesville this season. And Rolesville was just flexing their muscles the whole game.
I mean, I told everybody, we went out to this game, it was 24 degrees out there on the field when we was there, Darryl. I mean, the camera lost autofocus on the camera. We had to go in and manually reset the camera to be able to get these clips for you right here for the grit and grind. That's what we do on the grit and grind.
That's what we do.
You put in the extra work for the grit and grind, for the fans of the grit and grind. But it was a team in Rolesville that came to Cleveland and had a mission.
Yeah.
And the mission was to let you know we are who you thought we were.
Yeah.
We are a good team. Yes, Cleveland, you are a good team, but we want to see if your players can match up to our players.
Yeah.
A very good game, a very good statement from Rolesville, and we could not leave talking about this game there without finding out who was the Friday night grit and grind players of the game.
Yeah.
Let's go hear from the Friday night grit and grind players of the game from the Rolesville High School. I know I thought it felt like 6. Just tell me, preparing for this game this week, how were you able to come into Cleveland, hostile place to play here, very tough place to just pretty much get your offense to get up and down the field?
We know coming into the week it was a lot of one-on-one matchups outside, and I got to give all the praise to the receivers and the O-line receivers going up, winning those one-on-one go balls, and the O-line just give me a good, clean pocket.
All right, and Xavier, on the defensive side of the ball, what did Coach Reddick, your defense coordinator, get y'all prepared for to slow down this Cleveland team?
We really just got prepared on like all levels. They were really like deep diving type of team. They just like to throw it deep, and we were able to stop that easily, stand over top, and stop all their possible runs.
Well, we want to thank you tonight for being tonight's grit player and grind player for the Friday night grit and grind project game of the week. Back to the studio. Darryl, I want to congratulate our Friday night grit and grind players of the game.
Yeah.
Playing a great game.
Playing a great game with Xavier Lewis and Atkinson, the quarterback, talking to us about that. But we also had a chance to talk to the head coach of the Rolesville Rams.
Let's go hear from Coach Rat, the winner of the Friday night's 49-6 game over there in Cleveland. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. It's now time to talk to the winning coach tonight, Coach Rack of the Rolesville Rams. Coach Rack, congratulations, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
We had a cold night tonight, but we played some football.
Yes, sir. Football.
Big time football.
Coach, tell me, what was the message this week coming into Cleveland? We talked about it on the show earlier with you in the interview in the coach corner. Coming into Cleveland and pretty much taking them out of the style of game they played and better play what you said at the end of the game, Rolesville football.
Right. Not getting complacent, not getting comfortable with just advancing to the fourth round of the playoffs. You know, I'm not okay with just making it there. We've been there the last 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
What's next? We always been a team that said Rolesville can't get past the fourth round. I'm tired of hearing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That stops on my watch.
And that's it. And as far as on defense, I mean, y'all showed out on defense. You slowed down a good Cleveland team. What was the game plan coming into this game to do that?
Smash mouth football.
Yep.
You know, great team over there. You know, that kid is phenomenal. I've been watching him since he was a freshman. You know, 10,000 yards, not light.
Yeah.
The way he command his guys, the way he keep his guys going. But I told my guys, that guy's not asleep over there. Y'all got to make sure y'all contain him, play good ball. And that's what happened tonight. You know, guys like Xavier Lewis and the defensive front and the defensive style, game plan, they made a good stat. They made a good scheme to come out Friday night. That's how we got the victorious now, the victory.
All right.
Well, Coach, it looks like next week it could be Cardinal Gibbons according to the scoreboard right now.
Yep.
What is the message this week, whether it's Cardinal Gibbons or Hogarth, what is the message this week for Rolesville preparing to get to the next round?
Play Rolesville football. Yeah, standards are standard. You know what I mean? If we just keep doing what we have to do, we can keep fighting and keep doing what we have to do, man. We come out victorious again. So just play Rolesville football, and understand that we got to finish.
You just heard from Coach Rack, head coach of the Rolesville Rams, winning in the 4th round. And we're going to say one thing about Rolesville Rams. They're not the Rams. They're the Road Warriors right now in the high school football. Yeah. Back to the studio. Darryl, that was great motivation.
I tell you what, I'm ready to suit up right now to go play for the Rolesville
That's what I just said.
Because, you know, he said, what's next? Because the standard.
It's the standard.
There's a standard that they have set, and he's got those guys believing in that. And like you said, not on his watch.
That's the key thing. We were the
thing.
team that was known not to get to the regional championship.
Right.
To get to the 3rd or the 4th round and have a hiccup.
Yeah.
Whether it's a turnover, anything. But he said the key words were, that stops on my watch.
That stops on my watch. And, you know, Coach Rat's got those guys playing some good football right now.
And he got them believing. Hats off to what him and his coaching staff over there have been able to do to get Rolesville playing and execute at this level. Because I'm going to say it again before we get ready to go to commercial break, Darryl. You do not go into Cleveland High
Yeah, I was going to say
and hang 49 on them to their seats.
No.
It's either a 49-40 score, 49-36.
Yeah.
They're in the game.
Yeah, they're definitely in the game.
stopped Cleveland on all aspects of the ball that night.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's no knock, because Cleveland's a great team.
Yes, great team.
Darryl, we're getting ready to hop into a commercial break, and then we'll be back to find out who was this week's Grit and Grind Players of the Week. You're watching Grit and Grind on Studio 67.
The Information Technology Cybersecurity concentration at Nash Community College teaches students computer networks, information policy, and how to protect cloud and storage data. Cybersecurity students learn how to build and maintain firewalls and utilize data encryption programs. Students will also have the opportunity to gain real-world experience within their community with work-based learning opportunities. Information technology is a growing field, and once completed, students will have the knowledge and skills to start careers in the field working as cybersecurity analysts, information security analysts, and network system administrators. The cybersecurity concentration can be taken at 100% online for a degree or certificate. For more information about the cybersecurity program, visit nashcc.edu or call 252-443-4011.
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. It's time to find out who was this week's Grit and Grind Player of the Week.
This week's Grit player is coming out of Jacksonville, North Carolina. Number 4, senior linebacker Emmanuel Lovett from the Jacksonville Cardinals. Now, this year, the Cardinals are 12-1, and they are in the regional finals. And Emmanuel has a lot to do with that. He has 116 tackles for the season. He's that type of player that sees the field, makes good decisions on defense, and he's the player that you want on that defensive side of the ball that can bring that leadership on the defense. So this week's Grit player is number 4, Emmanuel Lovett from the Jacksonville Cardinals. Sean, who's that grind player of the week?
The grind player this week, Darryl, is coming out of Whiteville, the team we just talked about in the Grit and Grind Rewind. It's the reason why they're 13-1, because sometimes the wars go to the starters. But sometimes you don't have to be the starter to make the difference. You can be that second string relief running back that can have an explosive night, and that's what Cameron McCaven was able to do for the Whiteville Wolfpack. In this game last week, he had 3 touchdowns and played defense. And as we always say, sometimes we get involved with the starter or somebody who's the starting position, but you can come in when the coach calls your number and do exactly what he's doing that play right there. Getting a first down, keeping those chains moving. Do you hop right back off the field, wait for the coach to call your number again, and get another first down or a touchdown? So congratulations this week to the Jacksonville Cardinals, Emmanuel Lovett, and the Whiteville Wolfpacks, Cameron McCabe, for being this week's Grit and Grind Players of the Week. You're watching the Grit and Grind. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back to find out what Grit and Grind marquee games we're on for this week.
Nash Community College offers welding technology as a degree, diploma, or certificate. In this 5-semester program, students learn how to draw and read blueprints, the welding process, and welding safety. Students develop and master their skills in the classroom environments and real-world situations in NCC welding shops. With this degree or certificate, students can work as welders in a variety of fields such as construction, fabrication, and industrial maintenance. Most NCC graduates start out as entry-level technicians or welding apprentices working within the community. For more information on welding at Nash Community College, visit nashcc.edu or call 252-451-8270.
Darryl, welcome back to the Grit and Grind. Yeah. We're so glad to have y'all back with us right here watching the Grit and Grind, whether you're watching it live or you're watching on syndication. Daryl, we got some good grit and grind marquee games. So let's see what we got this week. Our first game, Daryl, will be our first game, Daryl. We're going to kind of be all over today. You know, most times we do 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. We decided to do it different this week. It's regional week.
Yeah, it's regional.
Switch it up.
Yeah.
Our first game, Daryl, coming 2A. The marquee game will be the 13-1 Whiteville Wolfpack. Well, we just had the grind player from that game, Cameron McCaven, just mentioned the grit and grind segment of the week of the players of the week, versus the 14-0 Northeastern Eagles in Elizabeth City.
Yep.
Daryl, you the road team. Tell me about the Wolfpack. Tell me why the Pack is so good.
Well, they coming into this game 13-1. Like I said, 6-0 in the conference. And the only loss they had this season so far, this season was against James Keaton, and they lost in overtime 21-20. But from that point on, they have just dominated throughout the season. And then last week, they beat a good Kinston team. So you're looking at this team, like I said, they made it to the fourth round last year.
Okay.
And they had to play a Northeastern team.
That's right.
And so you're looking at, again, that same Northeastern team is still there for them. But Whiteville, going back to 2021, has made it to the third round, 22, fourth round.
Okay.
23, fourth round, and now the regional.
So
each year, and Coach Price each year has gotten those guys closer and closer to where you're now in that regional round. And like I said, key players for them is Powell, their running back.
Right.
200 and some yards last week against Kinston.
So that's it.
And for them, that I see on keys to the win is basically just play some good defense.
That's the key.
That was one of the things they was able to do against Kinston is play good defense, jump on them early.
Right.
I think it was like 20-0 in that first half, first quarter, and continue to play Whiteville football. And if they can do that, they can give themselves a good chance to win this game because, like I said, this Northeastern team has been that team that's been in front of them to get to that state championship.
That's it.
And again, they got to play this Northeastern team. But Sean, tell me about Northeastern.
Northeastern's coming in undefeated. They beat some good teams, but if you think about this team last year, they got to this game, and you know what happened, Daryl? They ran into that dark horse down there in Clinton.
Yeah.
And that dark horse was a little strong last year. And Northeastern just could not weather the storm to win that game. But what do you do if you're Northeastern? You come back, have a great season, and now you're back in the regional championship, giving yourself a chance now to punch your ticket to get the next week's state championship game. Northeastern, they got a lot of kids that run track. So their skill position, these kids are real fast. They can get down the field. They beat good playoff teams there. They beat Rose, who were the Road Warriors. Just lost last week to the 71st. They beat Rocky Mount, another playoff team. They beat Holmes, another playoff team. They beat Green Central in the playoffs. They beat James Keenan. But this is what sticks out to me about James Keenan and this Northeastern game. They were down 3 points to the mid-third quarter and came back and scored 21 unanswered points. You know what that means, Daryl? I got to use it. I got to use that sense that we use for another team around here. We always say there's a team, the best halftime adjustment team in high school football. We may just found another school that can be in that category as one of the best high school football teams with making those halftime adjustments. Offense for Northeastern is led by Tyrell Sanders. You got Damani McNeil, Cameron Bennett, Travaris Jones with 41 touchdowns he's thrown on the season. That number has gone up from what he done last week. Then on the defense, you got Kamani Bennett, Maurice Bowser. This is a good team, and it's a reason why they were here last year and why they're here again this year, because none of these kids left. And they remember the taste they had from losing against Clinton last year. They don't want to reciprocate this season. I got to pick on the down before I give you my pick. I'm going to give you my keys to victory. For Northeastern, run the ball, throw the ball, control the clock, and just mirror what you did in that mid-third quarter against James Keenan. And as always, just cut back on the pitch.
That's it.
If you can do that and not be anticipating, you can win this game. Now, Darryl, it's time for our next marquee game of the week right here on the Grit and Grind, and we're going to jump to 4A.
All right.
I tell you, we're going to be all over today.
Yeah, we all over right now.
We go 1, 2, 3, 4, but we switch it up on you today. It's regional round. The Road Warriors. Sorry, James Rose, but I got to use for them the Legion of Boom, the Road Warriors, the Rolesville Rams that are 13-1. Going back up to Cardinal Gibbons that's 12-1, that are the 2 seed, to play Cardinal Gibbons in the regional match for somebody to punch a ticket to get to a state championship.
And you saw the interview we just had with Coach Rack and how focused he was.
Yes.
And like I said, you ready to suit up right now.
I'm ready to
go.
Put me in the game, Coach. I'm ready to play.
Coach, I'm ready. But like I said, Rolesville coming in this game 13-1, beat a good Cleveland team last week, 49-6. And if you're Rolesville, you played this Carter Gibbons team early in the season.
You did.
And you won 30-27 in overtime. Again, it goes back to what Coach VJ said from Warren County. We're not that same team.
You're not that same team. Week 1, week 2.
Where we are
a
now.
Brand new team.
Brand new team. So Rolesville is coming to this game, playing great football, starting with their quarterback play in Atkinson, Roberts, wide receiver, Brown, running back. Those guys played great football for them against Cleveland last week. And defense-wise, we talked about these guys earlier. Wright, Turner, Bryant, Lewis, Austin, Fryer, shot lights out on defense. I think going into this game, if Rolesville could continue to play good defense and cut down on the penalties, give themselves a chance in this game late in the fourth quarter. But I'm going to be honest. I think Rolesville is going to start off fast like they did against Cleveland.
That's been the key for them.
I think for the last 2 games, when going down to Richmond and then playing Cleveland last week, those were the 2 things they did. They started fast. And I think that they're going to still do that in this game. Coach Rat's got those guys believing. Coach Reddick on defense has got them playing great defense. So the keys to my game, for this win for me, is just play your game.
That's cool.
Play your game, jump on them early, and just play good defense. And if Rolesville can do that, they can get ourselves a chance. But tell me about Carter Gibbons.
I'm starting like this, Darryl.
Yeah.
I'm a Crusader.
All right.
And don't you forget it. And with these Crusaders, they are always in the regional round. They're always in that 4th championship, 4th week of the playoffs. They're always here. So I'm going to say it again, I'm a Crusader. And don't you forget it.
Don't forget it.
That's what Cardinal Gibbons is telling everybody right now, because a lot of people forget about Cardinal Gibbons. Roy Jones Jr. said it best. Don't forget about me. I'm still here.
Still here.
And that's what Cardinal Gibbons is saying. But if you talk about how good this team is, they're 12-1. The only loss they got, you stated it earlier, to Rolesville in overtime, 30-27. I went back and I watched this entire game, and it was a great game. And I think if you're Cardinal Gibbons, turnovers and penalties will hurt you where you beat yourself in this game. But you just said the best. Shout out to Coach VJ again. I'm going to say it again. You're not the same team you were week 2, week 3. You are a better team now playing at a better mechanic style of football. Cardinal Gibbons has had a great campaign leading up to this regional game. They beat Jordan, a hot team over there in Durham. Beat Richmond, the Richmond Raiders, Rockingham, another hot team. Beat the team right down the street from them, Leesville Road. They beat the Vikings last week down there from Wilmington, who came with a beat them 38-0. They're playing some of the best football at the right time. They got so many skilled players. We're just going to hit a few to be on the lookout for. You got Sam Dodd, you got Brandon Kurtz, Kendall Scott, Gannon Jones on that defense. You got Xavier Hansen clogging up the middle, getting sacks. You got Griffin Cockerham clogging up the middle. You got Conway Kelly. But then you got this linebacker. And I'm talking about he got the old school linebacker name. Billy Turner. When I coached, give me a kid named Billy Turner, and I can make him a superstar.
You can make him a superstar.
Just off that name. I can say, Billy, I'm going to put you in the game, and you just go hit anybody you see. The keys to victory for Cardinal Gibbons in this game is you're back hosted at your house. You don't have to go to Rolesville. So you get time now to prepare. You got to control the clock, and you got to keep your offense on the field. Rolesville is their number 1 strategy. They can control the clock. They can score quick. Keep your offense on the field. Keep Rolesville off the field. And the main thing for Cardinal Gibbons that I saw in the game when I watched the first one was don't get caught up in those 3rd and long situations. Rolesville Rams defense thrives off 3rd and long situations. Don't get caught in that. Capitalize on those chances of down where you got 3rd and 2s to convert to get those first downs. And if you got a 3rd and 2 or a 3rd and 4, don't go for the home run. Get the first down and give yourself another 4 downs to try to go for the home run. And play Cardinal Gibbons football. If they can do that, Darryl, they can get themselves a chance to win. I got a pick.
I know you got a pick on this.
And don't forget, I'm a Crusader.
Let's see. I won't forget.
Now, our next game, Darryl, in 1A football is the Wilson Prep Tigers that are 12-1 3 seed in the 1A playoffs, taking the road trip down to Valhalla to play the 1 seed 12-1 Tarboro Vikings. Before we can break this game down, Darryl, we got to hear from a good friend of ours. Let's hear from the Wilson Prep head coach himself, Coach Manny Dickens, on him and his Tigers and how they were successful this season to get to Tarboro. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind Coaches Corner. And Darryl, this week we got our good friend from Wilson Preparatory Academy. You hear me talk about him all the time.
Yeah,
WPA.
all the time.
We got Mr. Coach Dickens from WPA. And Coach, before we even start the interview, I just got to say one thing for Mr. Woodard and everybody at WPA. How about a good Tiger Pride?
Tiger Pride, baby. Tiger Pride.
Coach, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you on the Grit and Grind Coaches Corner. And one thing I want to know, Coach, is last season you got to the third round West Columbus. Then you guys came back this season, had a great season throughout the run of football. Great conference season play, non-conference play, all the way through the playoffs. And the goal was from day one was just have a good deep playoff run. How were you able to get the guys back from last year, losing in the third round, to come back this season to get over the hump to get to that fourth round? What was the goal all season for you and the Stooges?
Well, actually, we lost to West Columbus in the fourth round last year.
Okay.
That game, man, I still haven't watched that game. We dropped the touchdown with 3.9 seconds to go.
Oh, man.
That was that chance to, go against the beast in the East, Tarboro, and, man, that was rough. We prayed, we fasted. It just wasn't our time. And coming into this season, our motto was all or nothing. Because I told my guys, God said it's our time. And, we returned almost everybody. We lost two of our major pieces, three. Kristen Richardson, Kamani Barnes, and Joshua Jordan was major pieces to us. But we had guys I felt that were just as good behind them. And so we was very excited coming into this year. When I took the job back in 2022, I told Mr. Woodard and the board that I had a 3-year plan, and that 3-year plan was to get to the big game. And, we've been blessed to be a game away.
All right, Coach. And what I want to ask you is basically, how do you prepare your team as far as getting ready for a big game like this? Also with your coaching staff, as far as, that, like you said, you had a 3-year plan, but how do you prepare to get to that point?
Well, I was blessed to be in a lot of big games when I was at Wake Forest. It's our motto then was just one game at a time. And, going into Friday night, it's going to be a wonderful atmosphere. Tarboro is known for that. And right now is, I try to show my guys every scenario that they'll probably run into come Friday night. And, one biggest thing that we try to pride ourselves on is just staying focused, man, and staying centered. That's the biggest things. I tell guys that everything starts in the mind. You got to see the play before it happens. And, most of those guys came in with me was freshmen. I had 19 freshmen in my freshman class, and now these guys are juniors. So I don't, they're well seasoned guys now. All these guys are playing like seniors. Most guys don't see but 2 years of varsity football. These guys in their third year. And, what's crazy is most of these guys return next year.
Oh, wow.
So, right. So, I have an experienced coaching staff too. James West, who's my defensive coordinator, he's been with me since my time at Northern Nash when I was coaching there. So, he knows what it takes to. I've just been blessed to have some good guys around me too. And, I still got a lot of guys that speak into me. Reggie Lucas over at Wake Forest, Randall Raper, the old-time great from Hunt. And yeah, man, he's the first guy to ever give me a chance to coach. And I still rely on him now. I talked to him last night, So I've really been blessed, man. I tell people, for what we've accomplished in 3 years, it's only God. I'm not that good of a coach, God has, to go from 8 wins our first season, right, 11 wins our second, and now we're sitting at 12. We're going to finish with 14. So, all right. And a lot of people call it cocky. No, it's confident. When God ordained something, he ordained it. And that's what we're going into Friday night, man. Tarboro is a historic place. It's actually where I got started coaching in the rec over there years ago. And I have a lot of respect for Craddock and his staff, man. Coach Babb, all them guys. That T, I ran it years and years ago. So it's a prayer answered to go there. I've been wanting to get there for 3 years, and we're here. And Tarboro reminds me of Wake Forest doing their run. They was up 14 points when you got off the bus, because of who they were. Our guys don't feel that. You know what I mean? We respect them, but we know who we are too. So it's like I said, it's just keeping them calm, man, and letting them know who they are. That's the biggest thing. So many people go through life not knowing who they are. That's one of the first things I push with my boys is to understand that their greatness is already in them. We just got to bring it out.
That's it. That's it.
Well, Coach, without giving us some of the X's and O's, just tell us who are some of those key players that we need to look out for on Friday night on your offense and defense, some of the linemen and skill players.
Well, offensively, Trayvon Usher, a lot goes through him. He was Roanoke Player of the Year last year. I think he's one of the best running backs in the state that we had to turn into a quarterback. Last year, we ran for about 5,500 yards, I think it was. And one thing West Columbus coach said about me was that we were one-dimensional. So coming into the season, I wanted to prove him wrong. So, we threw for a little bit over 2,200 yards this year, rushed for 4,000. So we balanced it out, but he's a key to our offense. Xavier Williams, he's a senior. They call him Beast, and he's earned his name over the years. He's going to play a little fullback on offense, linebacker on defense. Jordan Ham is a monster, 24 sacks on the year. Probably one of the best kids I've ever coached in my life. He's just a sophomore. He's going to be big in the receiving game. He's a matchup problem for a little corner, strong, and he's fast. And you already know what he do on defense. Ethan Nelson, we just got him back. Ethan, arguably, before he broke his fibula, was the best player we had. 3 weeks left in the season, he had 920 yards rushing, and still finished leading the conference at the end of the season in rushing. We got him back, and he's going to be major coming down from that safety. He's one of the best open field tacklers you're going to find. And then you got Big Reggie Holmes, 6'4", 367 pounds. Don't know his strength yet, but he's crazy. But probably my best lineman is Keith Best. Offense and defense, he controls my line. And then number one, Nazir Vines had a big week last week, 4 touchdowns. Just a solid kid, strong as an ox. He should have a big night also, man. And, we're trying to get my son, Manny Dickens, healthy. He was sick last week. He led us in receiving. We run routes like Cooper Cup, and he can fly, man. He's little, but he can fly. So, and Taquan Whitaker, I want to lead him out. Being 1A Baldwin guys playing on both sides of the ball.
Right.
But, he's been a big plus in our offense. This playoff run. And last but not least, Jeremiah Williams, man, got him at inside linebacker. He played guard for me. It was nothing like watching him pull Friday. But he's a solid kid in the middle for us, and I'm expecting only great things from him. But, I would love to sit here and call out my own because I have been blessed with a lot of talent here. I just thank God for it.
Well, it's another one I like to see is a right pulling guard, Coach. When I used to coach, you give me a right pulling guard that know how to pull, I can break that offense. I go to work with a run game.
I was smiling all Friday night, man, because leading up to that game, the fans had gotten into it. We was hearing a lot of negative things. We had small bleachers. We didn't have a lot on the visitor side, and Lakewood made a major deal out of that. So Mr. Woodard is the type of guy, you tell him what he don't have, he's gonna go get it.
Yes, sir.
We call him Jerry Jones. So, and it was big for us to win that game. A lot of people, for some reason, didn't think we were gonna win it, but not one time did I waver. But I got to say they're probably the best coach team that I've played against this year. I got to give them that, man. They have some classy kids. Believe it or not, man, and I like to think I have some good kids, but over 50% of our games this year, we weren't able to shake hands after the game. I mean, I guess we're just that hated. But after this game, me and the coach, we came together at the middle of the field and prayed. Man, it was nothing like it. And that team was nothing like their fan base. They was well coached and disciplined, and it was a blessed time.
Well, Coach, we want to thank you for hopping on the Grit and Grind Coaches Corner this week. Yep. Best of luck to you and the Tigers of Wilson Prep when y'all have traveled up to Tarboro for the regional championship game, Coach. And we'll see you on the Grit and Grind.
Hey, man, I'm excited. Only God could have done it. We're going to talk after this game, and we're going to shock the world. We're going to shock the world. I promise you that. All right. But I do thank you guys, man. It was an honor to receive your email today, man. I was excited. Got out of practice a little bit late, but I rushed home to try to get here, man. And I'm just honored that you guys gave me the opportunity.
Hey, Coach, we just honored to have you on the Grit and Grind Coaches Corner.
Thank you, man. You guys have a blessed one.
Darryl, we just heard about good friend.
Yeah, we heard
Coach
from him.
Head coach of the Wilson Prep Tigers.
That's right.
He's got his Tigers ready.
Oh, yeah,
to
definitely.
take that trip to Tarboro. They've been talking about it since the day he interviewed.
Yeah.
That he wanted to take this trip to Tarboro. It's a homecoming from him. As he stated, it's where he got started.
Yep.
No need to keep making the people wait.
Yeah.
Tell me about Coach Man, these Tigers, Darryl.
I mean, the Tigers are coming in this game 12-1. Only loss came earlier in the season against Farmville Central, where they lost 28-14. But from that point on, this team has just been playing some good football. They beat a good Lakewood team last week that Coach Mann was just talking about, 36-17. And in 3 seasons of them playing football, 3 seasons, this team has gone 31-6 in 3 seasons. Only lost 6 games.
That's good.
Last year, they made it to the 4th round, and now they're in the regional round. And just like Coach Mann was saying, with some of the players, I'm not going to go back and name them all because he done did it for me. But the keys to win this game for them is play good football and be focused and be ready to play when you go to Tarboro. Don't get caught up in, Valhalla and all the
lights and the cameras and the statues,
all of that, and the
statue
championships.
Don't get caught up. Me and Coach Jeff built, that one we built, me and him, the Grit and Grind shirt, with Coach Jeff, we talking.
All of that. Don't get caught up in all of that. And then just have fun. Go out there, have fun. You made it to the regional round. You 1 game away from a state championship. You got a good team. And just play good football. Cut down on the penalties and give yourself a chance to win this game. That's my keys for WPA. But tell me about Tarboro.
Tarboro's coming to this game, Darryl. They're 12-1. Only losses to Havelock this season. We was at that game. And if you're Tarboro, you've been making a statement. I talked about that in the Grit and Grind Rewind. I'm going to cycle back to that. You've been making a statement the past 2 games. The first one, Warren County, hottest team in 1A, 71-0. Me and Darryl saw Warren County play twice this year. They can light up a scoreboard. You held them scoreless. Then Pender, the fastest team in the state of North Carolina, you beat them 50-0. Pender scores 76, 78 points a game. To come to Tarboro and you not even let them score 6, not 3 for a field goal, that's big for Tarboro. It starts with Tarboro just looking at the field and saying, we got athletes, we know we're good, can you keep up and match up to us? That's the key thing. We've been down to running backs. You know the running backs, Mason Satterfield, Cameron McDowell, you know all of them, Cole over there on the defense, Davis on the defense. We know all of them. To me, Tarboro now is more focused than I've seen. And I'll go back to what I said earlier this season, Darryl. That Havelock game was a wake-up call to Tarboro that they needed.
Yeah.
I felt like for so long, Tarboro's been able to just, I'm not going to use the word run or skate through the playoffs, but just been able to keep winning through these playoffs. Then they get to the state championship, and they're a little more relaxed. I felt like playing Havelock and getting that loss, it kind of rewoke something up in them.
Yeah.
And brought them back where they had to come back those Saturday morning practices. Get back focused and get back to the basis of Tarboro T football. And it's not about the Tarboro T offense. The past 2 games have been about the Tarboro T
I was going to say it's about
defense.
that defense. That defense has shown up for them.
Keys to victory for this game for Tarboro is run the ball, control the clock, and you got to get in that backfield and rattle Usher up.
Yeah.
If you don't rattle Usher up, he will pick apart any defense out there on the field. Those are the keys to victory right there for Tarboro and the keys to victory you just gave for Wilson Prep, Darryl.
Yeah.
We're getting ready to go to a commercial break. We'll be back for the Grit and Grind Prime Time Game of the Week right here on Studio 67.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
That's it, Grit and Grind!
Welcome back to the Grit and Grind. Daryl, now it's time for the Grit and Grind
Prime Time
Game of the Week right here on Studio 67. The game that we will be at will be the 12-1 Jacksonville Cardinals going up to Fayetteville, taking the ride down I-95.
I-95.
Yeah, they got to go 40 and 95.
Yeah.
They got to go both ways to get to both interstates to go play 71st, who was 14-0 and undefeated at home this season. They're on the road team.
Yeah.
I'm the Cardinal this week. I'm on the bus.
The bus.
I just took 40. I made that left to get on 95. I'm coming through Hardin County, and my next stop is 71st.
But before we could do that, we have a coach interview.
We do. So let's go hear from Coach Malone from 71st, see what he has to say about getting ready for this week's game. Welcome back to the Grit and Grind today, Daryl. With us in the Coach's Corner, we got our good friend from 71st, Coach McLaurin. Coach McLaurin, welcome back to the Grit and Grind Coach's Corner, sir.
Sir, fellas, I appreciate you having me.
Truly honored to have you back.
Yeah, definitely.
Coach, you know, I was looking at everything from the past 3 seasons. This is your 3rd time since we've been covering 71st to the Eastern Regional Championship. Getting hosted at home, beat a good Jakes Rose team last week. Just tell me about last week. How were you able to get the guys together and come in to be able to beat a good Jakes Rose team that a lot of people kind of saw you guys winning, but you know, it was one of those teams that were coming in with some good wins leading up to this game?
Well, this game has some historical significance. When these guys were freshmen, they lost to them. They were 8-4, and we were 12-0 at the time. And I believe they had Coach Bland had the running back that went to NC State, the good quarterback, and they came in here and knocked us off. And then we got them the next year, so we definitely weren't sleeping on them. Coach Bland does a good job with those guys, having them ready to play, and we knew they'd come in and wouldn't be afraid of us. So we treated it like the Super Bowl, you know, had to come in ready to go.
All right. And Coach, what I want to talk about is the preparation that you have coming into this season and also from last season. What is it that you do and your coaching staff do each game to get these guys ready to play each week?
You know, these are kids, man. 16, 17-year-olds, you know, they got life, you know, they got stuff going on in their life that they think is like the most important thing in the world, you know.
Yeah.
Trying to prepare them, you know, boys, you know, young men, you have to prepare them. You can't protect them.
Right.
And, you know, we try to do things in the program that not only prepare them for football, but try to prepare them for life. So, you know, throughout the summer, you know, leading up, we understand the expectations coming into this season, but we have expectations for our players to meet as far as their growth in this program. So, you know, it's bigger than football, but for the most part, when you have more kids that's doing what they're supposed to do than not, you normally have a pretty good season.
Well, Coach, you got a good game right back in the Eastern Regional Championship game. You got a good game this week coming up against a hot Jacksonville team that went down to Havelock and knocked off Havelock, so you guys wouldn't have to go on the road. You could host this game. Just what's the preparation like? Give away the X and O's that you are preparing the team for this week to be able to host Jacksonville Cardinals that are coming in?
Well, they definitely are a very talented team. Very experienced coach. Coach Williams does a good job with that option. Defensively, they fly around. You know, we definitely have some challenges. You know, we just got to play fundamentally sound football, assignment football, which can be different. It can be difficult for teams. That's why they have such a problem defending it. They run it several different ways, block it up different ways, and, you know, the tailback is very good. I think what they're underrated about is their defense. Defensively, man, they fly around and they get after you. So I necessarily wasn't very surprised that they went in there and won. But, you know, as a coach, you know, you got to look ahead, man. We were prepared. We've been preparing to play either one since last week. So, you know, it gives us a couple more days of prep. But, you know, we got to get after it this week, make sure everybody knows their assignments. And then we got to be efficient offensively and keep the pressure on them. And hopefully we'll be able to come out on the winning side. Well, Coach, we're looking forward to being with you tomorrow night for that game on the Grit and Grind Primetime game with 71st hosting the Jacksonville Cardinals. And we will see you Friday night, and best of luck to you and 71st Friday night, Coach. Yes, sir, man. Thank you very much, fellas. Appreciate you having me on.
Appreciate you coming on today, Coach.
Yep.
John, I want to thank our good friend, Coach Malone.
Yeah.
Dropped by the Coach Corner this week, getting us ready for this game. Jacksonville, have to take that ride off I-40 and come down I-95.
Yeah.
Probably play the hottest 3A football team, the reigning Eastern Regional champs.
Yep.
If I'm the Cardinals, Darryl, I got a lot I got to think about before this game. But I got a lot to be proud about getting to this game. I beat teams like Jags Rose.
Yeah.
I beat New Bern. I beat White Oak. Then if you look at the playoffs, the teams I had to beat in the playoffs, I had to beat Williams. I had that with 10-1. Then I had to host Cape Fear. That was 11-1. Then I lost to Havelock on October the 11th, 21-14. And then I turned around in their house.
Yeah.
Then I turned around and found out that I got to go back to Havelock in the 4th round of the playoffs to get to a regional game, back in their house, and try not to reciprocate that loss. But I didn't reciprocate it. I won 56-28 in Havelock. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. A lot of people who do the brackets did not have Jacksonville beating Havelock.
No, definitely did.
They already had Havelock and 71st penciled in for the regional game. But the Cardinals said, hold on. We still want to keep playing football. We're not ready to go to the layup line. If you're Jacksonville, it starts with one thing. And I'm going to say this because you see it in the NFL, the collegiate level, and in the high school. Power running football is back. It's back.
Yeah.
And they got a guy. They got the UNC commit. Damian June, guess what he just found out?
What did he find out?
I'm running the ball for Coach Bill Belichick
All right
now.
See, now you get me excited.
I'm running the ball
My
for Coach
Tar
Bill
Heels.
Belichick. But they are a good team. They're not a team to sleep on. It's a reason why they're here. He is the bread and butter of this offense. Power running football. Coach Malone said it. They run that option. Then you got Eric Griffin, Saron Thompson, Rashawn Echoes on the defense. You just made him the great player of the week.
Yeah.
Man, you love it. Then you got Jackson Henry, Amari Randolph, Jackson Henry in the secondary. It's just a good team that plays good football. Keys to victory for me if you're Jacksonville coming to 71st. Run the ball. Turn Damian June loose. That's the reason why he was the ground player of the week a couple weeks ago. Keep the game tight. The past 5 games you allow a score of the team scored 28, 0, 0, 24, 14, and 28. Then you had to beat Havelock to get here. You had to beat Cape Fear to get here. You had to beat Williams to get here. You're used to going on the road winning this game. Don't get caught up in the aura of being at 71st. Because when a lot of people get to 71st, we said all the time, it's big time football.
Oh, it's big time.
When we went down there last year, Darryl, what did we say when we walked in the
big time.
stadium? We said, this is big time football.
Yeah, definitely
You
big
can't
time.
do that. If you can do that, you can be ready. But they got a hard test.
Yeah, they got a hard test. 71st, like you said, 71st Falcons, 14-0. Beat a good J.H. Rose team last week, 48-7. And just like Coach McLaurin was saying, in that game, you know, they came in there, had a plan.
Right.
And they was able to execute that plan. And it's just been the same guys for them all season long. And if you're 71st, the biggest thing I think you got to look at in this game, and Coach McLaurin mentioned, is that Jacksonville defense.
That's the key.
Is that defense, because with 71st, you got Nance, Frederick, Franks running the ball. Those are the things that they got to capitalize on as far as that defense trying to stop those players. But if you're 71st, play your game. Just continue to do what you've been doing all season long. You know, y'all play your game, and then on that defensive side of the ball, again, the same players we talked about every week on this show. We start with Archer, Jackson, Hector, Lucas, Moore, just some of the key players on defense for 71st. That's got to show up because, like you said, Jacksonville's got a good running back.
They do.
A good running back, and you got to stop that run. And if you're 71st, if you can do that, stop the run from Jacksonville, keep the game close, you can give yourself a chance late in the fourth quarter. But this is going to be a good game.
It is.
It's going to be a big challenge for 71st because, like you said, no one saw Jacksonville getting to this point.
Nobody.
Other than the people in Jacksonville.
They the only ones.
They the only ones because
I had them getting about to the 3rd round.
Right.
But I said when they got to Havelock, I thought Havelock would be too much for them. Havelock had beat them.
But Jacksonville defense showed up.
They showed up.
And so that's the challenge that 71st is going to have is that Jacksonville defense. And how do you attack that defense?
Right.
So I got a pick in this.
We got to save it.
All right.
For the quick picks, We're going to get ready to go to a commercial break, and we'll be back for the Grit and Grind Quick Pick for this week's episode.
This is Coach Rapp for the Rolesville Browns, and now you watching the Grit and Grind.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to
Coach Rack bringing us back.
For the quick pick.
For the quick pick.
Yes, sir.
All right,
Perfect
Coach.
time to have Coach Rack bring us in for the quick pick. And that commercial said, don't text and drive. I said last week, don't watch the Grit and Grind and drive. Let's see how we did on these picks.
Uh-oh. Ain't looking good.
7-2.
Uh-oh, ain't looking good. See, I started picking with my heart again.
Yeah.
6-4.
The Waffle House Challenge is coming, y'all.
Uh-oh,
It's coming.
not the Waffle House. All right, let's go ahead and get situated. Let's see where we at.
Let's see where we're at, Darryl.
All right, this
is it.
This is it right here.
Only 4 games.
4 games.
And then there was 4 games. Our
Final
first
4.
game, Darryl, will be no other than in 2A football. Whiteville, heading out of Whiteville, North Carolina, to go play Northeastern in Elizabeth City.
I had a pick on this earlier. I'm making an audible, changing my pick.
Uh-oh.
I'm going Whiteville. I think Coach Price has those guys playing some good football. I'm going Whiteville for the upset. They made it to the regional round.
They did.
And I think he's going to take them over the top. They got a good running game. I'm going Whiteville for the upset.
I watched Whiteville on film this week.
Yeah.
They are a great team. They can run the ball. I think just what I've seen on film, they got enough to go into Elizabeth City and get a good win.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Whiteville Wolfpack for the win on this game. All right, Darryl, our next game is 4A football. It is the 5 seed Rolesville Rams going back to Cardinal Gibbons to play the 2 seed in their house.
Whew, this is going to be big time football up there in Wake County this week.
It's going to be loud in that stadium.
It's going to be
on
loud.
Both sides.
On both sides. We saw Rolesville play.
We saw them play.
And the focus that they had in that game against Cleveland.
That was big.
And the thing about it, they didn't play their best football.
No, not at all.
Did not play their best. I'm going Rolesville. I'm going Rolesville for the win.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. The Rolesville Rams, the Road Warriors, the Legion of Boom, are going to go into Cardinal Gibbons and slay the Crusaders and get a win. And guess what, Darryl?
What's that?
They're going to get back on the activity bus and go back to Rolesville, start getting their locker stuff repaired for a state championship game.
All right.
Rolesville Rams to win, and that's not a spoiler, that's a prediction. Our next game, Darryl, will be in 1A football. The Vikings of Tarboro versus Wilson Prep. In Valhalla.
Yeah, go ahead. Go on, say it all.
See, you know when you come down to Tarboro, you go by all that lineage and all that heritage. And you see the billboard that says how many state championships we won. And then you see all the greats, the Todd Gurleys, the coaching, the conference championships, all of that stuff right there at the beginning of the stadium. And you walk through all of that stuff and get into the stadium. And you know what happens, Darryl?
What happens?
The intimidation switch kicks on in Tarboro because you're in the land of champs, you're in Valhalla. But here's the question, Darryl.
Yeah.
Does Coach Manning walk by the heritage of Tarboro, a place he started at, sees all the lineage and all the heritage, and you know what he said? This ain't Motel 6. I don't need nobody to light on me, and cut it off and goes to Tarboro and get a win.
Yes.
What?
I'm going WPA for the win. I'm saying WPA's got the players, they got the coaching staff, they believe. The man said he got God on his side. So I'm going WPA.
For the win.
For the win.
Not so bad, my friend. Hold that thought, pump the brakes, and hold the phone. It's a reason why we hit the button to turn on the light. Turn on the light because the Vikings are headed to a state championship next week. Tarboro for the win.
All right.
Now that's time for the grit and grind.
Prime time.
Game of the week right here. The game will be at the Jacksonville Cardinals going to play 71st in Fayetteville. Jacksonville. Team nobody expect to be here.
Team
but
nobody expect. They're here. Playing a good 71st team that is just playing great football right now. And I think it's going to continue for 71st. 71st is on a mission. They're trying to get back to that state championship game. We was there last year.
Right.
They was, 22 minutes away from a state championship against Hickory?
Yes.
So I think
good
71st is ready to get back there. So I'm going 71st in this game.
I got to go 71st on this one, Daryl. I think 71st wants to get back. They got a taste of how it is to get there last year. That was a great game they played against Hickory. They want to get back there. They want to finish the story. They want to win that state championship. This is their time right here. I'm taking 71st for the win.
All right.
Well, Daryl, can you tell everybody how next week and this week they can follow the grit and grind to see where we're going to be at on Friday night with the 71st Jacksonville game and to see where we're going to be at next week for the state championship? How can they find us?
They can find us on Instagram at Grit and Grind Podcast NC, where you'll see all our videos as far as coaches interviews, player interviews, some highlights. Also can find us on our old Facebook page, Lucas Boys Network. I think that's what we call it, Lucas Boys Network. We'll have footage there as well. Also, where else can they find us, Sean?
Darryl, they can find us right here on Studio 67 NCC. Whether you're watching it live or you're watching on syndication, go by Studio 67 NCC on YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button so every time notification drops on Studio 67, you get alert to your smart device to tune in. And we need this week. We got a challenge. I need 10 likes. We were so close last week. We had 7. 3 more. Just start with 10 likes, then we're going to inch it up every week. 10 people out there watching the Grit and Grind, hit that like button if you like that video. Also, don't forget, you can find us on Spotify and Amazon Music at Studio 67 and on Studio 67 NCC's Instagram. Well, Darryl, we got some great games this week.
Great games coming up.
I-95, we're going to be down there in 71st. We'll have an ear down there in Tarboro for that game. We'll have an ear in Cardinal Gibbons for that game. Hey, we're going to find out to get somebody in Elizabeth City. If you're in Elizabeth City and you're going to be at that game, drop a comment how we can get to contact you in the comment box and we'll hit you up. And as always, Darryl, before we leave, you got the grit.
And do you have the grind?
And we'll see you next week at the state championship after this regional round.